All right, this is Deanna Marie, and welcome back here to the Clusie. And today we are going to be talking about how you have been chosen and nobody can change that. All right, so let's get started. All right, so Bible reference today is going to be Esther 2:17, and that reads as the king loved Esther more than all the other women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the other virgins, so he set the royal crown upon her head. Okay, so backstory. Esther was, she'd been through a lot, and she was actually, she didn't have any parents. Her parents were killed, and so she lived with her uncle Mordecai. She gets placed in this position in Babylon where the king is having a almost beauty pageant type thing. So he's trying to pick a new wife because Vashti got kicked out. Okay, so now there needs to be a replacement. So the king brings in all these different women. There's tons of different women. And as soon as Esther arrives to the palace to be put in the group of women, Haggai, the person that's in charge of everything, notices there's something different about her. There's something different about her. Now, she was beautiful. I'm sure there was many different beautiful qualities about her, but there's something different about this girl, and he notices that. So he blesses her with extra servants. She gets the best part of the palace, and preparations begin, okay? 12 months worth of preparations were what the girls were going through to be ready and prepared to meet the king. And you'd get one night with the king, and then if the king liked you, he would put the crown upon your head. You became the new queen. If he didn't like you, you would go off and you would be one of the many different women that he was kind of collecting, but you were not his wife. Okay. Haggai is giving her wisdom, okay? And she listens to everything that he says in the preparations. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, this is kind of like a reference for God giving you wisdom on what you're supposed to be doing right now before you stand before your king. Now, I don't know what your king is. Maybe your king is your career. Maybe it's an actual person. Maybe it's actual man. Maybe it is something that you prayed for. Okay, you're getting ready to stand before it. Okay, God has been giving you directions up until this point. Okay, and if Esther went in there and she didn't listen to anything that Haggai told her, she would not have been chosen either, but she listened to everything that he said. And if God has given you wisdom about something or what you're supposed to be doing right now, or how you're supposed to treat people, or where you're supposed to be going or something, he's giving you specific directions. You better listen. You better listen, because you're getting ready to stand before your king. And if you want to be chosen, if you want the blessing, if you want everything, you better make sure that you've listened to everything that he's told you, word for word, because it's important. Okay? So Esther walks in, the king chooses her. It's one night she's chosen. That's it. The next day, the king is planning celebrations and a wedding, and all this stuff is being prepared because she obeyed the word that was given to her. She listened. And for some of you right now, I'm sure, I know, I know it's probably been a struggle. Maybe you've been through what she went through and had very difficult times. You know, this girl didn't have any parents, man. She was not the most likely person to be chosen for this position. People would, like, if they knew the backstory, and they would realize, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the queen. You could have anybody you wanted, but you want this? Like, that's what people were looking at it like. And for some of you guys, that's what it's going to look like. But it doesn't matter what other people think about you, because God put you there for a reason. There's a reason behind it. And he's asked you to listen to his directions so that you can be placed in this specific position, because there's something that needs to be accomplished in this. There's some big picture, some grand design that maybe you don't know what it is yet, but he has you ready to enter this palace, this position, stand before this king, stand before this career, stand before, this financial blessing for a reason. So you need to make sure that you are listening very, very carefully to the instructions that are being given to you, because you are getting ready to go face to face with what you've been praying for. And if you haven't been doing the work and you haven't been listening, you're going to be ill prepared. You're not going to be able to accomplish everything that he needs you to accomplish. So if you don't know what it is, ask him again. If you do know what it is, make sure that you're ready, because when this shows up, she didn't know, nobody knew when they were being like brought in before the king. You'd have a little bit of preparation. You had a whole year to get the preparations done. And then as soon as the night happened, the blessing, it was an overnight change. She went from being orphan to being the queen of Babylon in 24 hours. Okay, so that's what's getting ready to happen to you. So make sure you're listening, make sure you're paying attention, make sure you're asking God for guidance. All right, so anyways, like, share, subscribe, comment as always, and I will see you guys next time.